DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Let's talk about fear and having balls. And this matters a lot. And this is a very important topic for everybody. When I say having balls, I mean that metaphorically. All right, so ladies, I'm talking to you as well, okay, or whatever people are calling themselves these days. The thing that y'all have to understand is that in life, this is in all of life, every aspect of life, in professional work, in any kind of interpersonal relationships, whether you're playing a sport, just dealing with people, period. Anything that you do, when people sense that you are fearful, or they sense that you can be controlled with your fear, or they sense they can use your fear against you, they will. And people will push you around. They will ride you all out of everything that you want, completely out of your frame, and completely out of everything that you want from life by using your fear against you when they realize that they can use your fear against you. This is just the way that it works. To give you an example, like from when I'm recording this, my son was just born a week ago. From when I'm recording this, it'll be more than a week by the time that y'all see it. But we at the hospital, right? And these people in the unit where they take care of the babies, they try to, well, this is what these people did this time. I'm not going to say everybody does this at every hospital, okay? So if you work in a hospital, if I'm not saying your name, I'm not talking about you. All right? So don't come to me with no stupid shit. But these people, what they did was they tried to use like fear and guilt and shame against you. Like, if you don't do this and this and this, or allow us to do this and this and this, you're putting your baby's life in danger, and this might happen and that might happen. And they try to use fear against you. And it didn't work on me because I have a certain mentality that's conditioned in me. This is not something that I just thought of in a moment, by the way. This is something that's conditioned in me. I write books about this, so y'all can read these books and learn it the same way that I know it. And they try to use this against you to try to get their way. And then if you don't go with their way, they try to make you seem like you're crazy. And again, they try to use the fear against you to kind of leverage, to use that as leverage to get their way, get them to do what they want to do. And I'm just using that as an example. I'll go into way more detail about this when I finally write about it. I haven't gotten around to it yet. But this happens in all of life. And people will try to make you feel like something's wrong with you if you have an opinion that is wrong or going against the grain, or if you said something that other people might challenge, or you've done something that somebody might find objectionable for whatever reason, or find some reason to go against it, or something might be taken away from you, or something might be done to you, or you might be attacked in some way for some reason, for something that you said, something that you did, something that you believe, something that you stand for, something that you don't stand for, something that you stand against. People will try to use this stuff against you these days, and none of it is a clear and present danger, because that's what fear is. Fear is you being aware of a clear and present danger. None of it is a real danger, but because the world that we live in today, because it is so safe, people have to come up with reasons to be afraid of something. So they come up with these made up fears to try to control people. And actually, let me not even say try to control people. They come up with these made fears to control people, because it actually works. I would say try if it was failing, but it's not failing. It's actually working on most people. It doesn't work on everybody. It doesn't work on me, but it works on a whole lot of people. And people do this all day, every day. And some of you, let's be honest, some of you are so controlled by fear that you don't even realize that you're controlled by fear, because it's become normal in your life, because it's been done to you so often that you don't even realize that it's happening. It's become just a normal way of operation. And here's the part that I want you to get. Here's where all the change happens. As soon as you realize that fear is being used against you so that people can manipulate you and influence you and get you to do what they want you to do as opposed to what you want to do, as soon as you realize it and you fight against it, and understand you don't have to fight against it your whole life. As soon as you fight against this fear and push back against it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, what happens is you start to build the muscle. It becomes a habit. And once you start to do this, you'll realize how much power you have when you don't allow fear to control you. And you'll realize how much power you have given away by allowing fear to control you. And you say, damn, I've been living my whole life under this fear that's not real. It is not a present danger, but I felt like it was. But now when I realize that it's bullshit, it's just like a shadow, I can see through the shadow. As soon as you realize you can punch through that shadow and you stop allowing fear to control you, you'll realize how much power you actually have. And you'll realize also, here's the other thing that happens. Once you start showing people that they can't use fear to control you and they can't use fear to manipulate you and kind of move you around like a pawn on a chessboard, all of a sudden they'll start getting out of your way. People will stop challenging you. People will stop trying to hit you with bullshit to try to move you in the direction they want you to go, and they'll just get out of your way. They will just lay down and move out of your way. And why? And here's the reason why they do it. Because it's much easier for them to bully and push around and persuade other people with fear, because most people, they can get away with this. But when they realize that you're one of the people that they can't, they'll just go find an easier target. That's what happens in life. And I've seen this happen so many times. When I was young and I didn't understand this, somebody could use fear against me and move me around with it. But now, because I've seen the other side of it and how easily it falls down, how fear is just a house of cards, and once you realize that people can't use it against you, or you get to the point that people can't use it against you, and how they'll easily get out of your way when they see that it ain't gonna work. I've seen both sides of it. That's how I can talk about it at this level, because I've seen the side of it when it is hurting you and the side of it when it's helping you, when you realize that it's all BS and you can just knock it down. Many of you, once you realize this power that you have right now effectively been giving away, because you don't even understand what you don't understand. As soon as you understand it, all of your life is going to change. Everything's going to change, and all of a sudden you're going to see possibilities that have always been there, but you just weren't aware of because you just didn't know what to do with them. And this is why getting fear out of your life and extirpating fear from your being matters so much. So here's what I want you to ask yourself. I want you to just go through your life, go through your day. Just go through your day-to-day life and ask yourself, where am I making decisions based on fear versus decisions based on courage? Where am I making decisions and trying to avoid a thing that I'm afraid of versus making decisions based on what I actually want? And those are two different things. There's making decisions based on things that you want and making decisions based on things that you're trying to avoid. One of them is a aggressive, confident, forward-thinking energy. And one of them is a fearful, nervous, anxious, avoidance energy. See, when you're making decisions based off fear, you're trying to avoid things. You're trying to avoid the thing that you're afraid of. When you're making decisions based off confidence and being influential and moving forward, and you have a purpose and you're intentional about your purpose, that's a whole different energy. That's a bold energy. That's a forward-moving energy. That kind of energy, people get out of your way when they see that in a person. But when they see that you're anxious and you're back on your heels and you're afraid and you're nervous and you're trying to avoid things, people will push you around all day. It's kind of like if you're in a boxing ring and you're moving backwards and you just keep backing up and running and putting up your guard, what's the other boxer going to do? They're just going to keep hitting you. Why? Because you're putting yourself in a position to keep getting hit. But when you're in the fight and you're kind of moving forward, I mean, you still got your defense in the right place, but at the same time, you're ready to throw a punch. If they throw a punch, what does the other fighter do? They get the hell out the way because they know they might get their head knocked off if they make the wrong move. That's the energy that I'm talking about. And when you get that energy, life will change for you. But you have to make a decision to do this. This is not something that will just happen to you randomly. If you don't make the conscious decision to do this, life will push you around forever. So with all that said, text me to get my daily motivation for free every day to your phone. My number is 305-384-6894. And go to workonyourgame.net to get access to my free training. How to increase your income year over year without running yourself into the ground in the process. That's at workonyourgame.net. The training is free. It's 45 minutes. I want you to put aside 45 minutes, go through the whole thing. Go to workonyourgame.net. Get it right now. Work on your game. Dre all day.